Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Yasharal, Living Orders and Commands. It is an end-time series to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah. Today is January 28, 2015. This will be a multi-part segment, so this represents part one of a segment entitled Wants, Needs, Realities. Wants, Needs, Realities. If we were to ask one another, if we were to discuss among loved ones, among our fellowship, our camps, our groups, our families, or anyone, and ask them to define what wants are versus needs versus realities, we will get many different answers. My brothers and sisters, movement is coming for Yasharal. Those who will face the final exodus, we will face forced migrations that will bring us together in unity in Yahushua Messiah. But there will be movement from those who serve the wicked one, who are overtaken with unbelief. The habitable places on this planet are about to roll up like a scroll. Pray and watch. We are on a schedule that will prove to be ordered by the Almighty Father Yahuwah, who sent a set-apart spirit sent in Yahushua's name. And that schedule, my brothers and sisters, believe it or not, is set apart. It will prove to bring forced migrations as a result of bringing us to following orders and command, living orders and commands. Conditions on this planet will dictate a reactionary response to those void of discerning what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying. In other words, those who are unaware of the plan of the Most High, unable to discern, they will become more reactionary, scrambling, trying to determine what to do, where to go, when to go, who to go with, what to take, and so forth. Conditions on this planet will dictate forced movement like never before. Yasharal, we are facing living instructions, living guidance. We are facing reproof and refinement. We will come to fulfill what is ordered of us by our Almighty Father, those who have been chosen and directed to fulfill such prophecies regarding the final exodus, regarding the emergence of the 144,000, and regarding the great multitude that will come out of the great tribulation. Our traveling conditions will present the most challenging of times, and we will discover there will be a difference in our position when it comes to wants, needs, and the realities that are before us. The things and or people we think we can take with us, in some cases, will prove to be contrary. There will be those who cannot endure. There will be those who will embrace the living orders and commands of the Most High. There will be those rejected. One day at a time, we will come to know the difference between wants, needs, and the reality of what's going before us. The time is now to consider developing a mindset on how to discern priorities as well as identify when to act. I have no doubt that our wants and needs vary. Prepare, Yasharal. Prepare that there will be a rise in chosen leadership who will execute living orders and commands as they are led by the Spirit of Yahushua. We will come to identify priorities as we establish a criteria for meeting what is required from the Most High regarding our journey, our migration towards the Promised Land. Keep in mind, as I stated in the past, that the basic four will become critical as we begin our journey. That four being fresh air, fresh water, food, and a safe place. My brothers and sisters, setting priorities with these four critical things in mind will make for a wise transition. Prepare to behold living orders and commands that will prove to distinguish the difference between wants and needs, that will direct us away from the vanities and conveniences that we once experienced, many of us. According to the instructions that will be laid out by the Most High Father, we are about to go through a phenomenal transformation. The realities of what to expect will become clear and prove to be true as each day passes. My brothers and sisters, we have taken fresh air for granted, but I assure you, as we begin our journey from one point to the next, until reaching our final destination, we will learn to appreciate our nose, our ability to breathe, our mouths, our lungs, the very life that we have, and the role that fresh air plays. Fresh air provided by the words of the Almighty Father. As we journey along the way, we will face challenges regarding fresh air. It would be wise to accept that it's not just pollution, but when chaos breaks out, we will see earthquakes and volcanoes erupt. We will witness comets fall to the earth with extreme force, threatening the very fresh air we breathe. We will witness so many different things that attack the air. But be mindful, my brothers and sisters, none of these will stop those who are among the children of obedience from gathering from the four corners of the earth. As civil unrest breaks out, we will see people setting fires to homes and businesses and cars. Who is aware that in the midst of chaos, when things are set on fire, the fumes threaten the very air that we breathe? We will witness times where there will be burning oil fields and ruptures in pipelines that are set on fire that will wreak havoc on the air we breathe. It will be a time when fire will become a normal phenomenon as end times get intense. And when things burn, I assure you the atmosphere is challenged, whether it's in a specific area or more widespread. Know this, the Most High Father Yahuwah, through his set-apart spirit, sent in Yahushua's name, he will provide and is providing living instructions and guidance. Those who are ordered will fulfill the tasks that are set before them to bring prophecies into completion. You see, our biggest challenge will be following orders and commands. Our biggest challenge will be believing those whom the Most High choose to use. Another challenge we will face will be managing our emotions as we face uncertainty and fear. Unbelief will no doubt be a stumbling block to many, but do not underestimate the living orders and commands from the Spirit of Yahushua. We will witness a rise in chosen leadership, and we will discover those who will submit and follow the leadership that is established by the Spirit of Yahushua. In spite of the coming conditions, there will be order, there will be discipline, and we will face the most humbling of times. The Most High Father will provide proof of his living orders and command. Who do you think will win the battle? A stubborn and stiff-necked group, or the Almighty Father fulfilling his words? Remember, in his words also comes discipline and correction. My brothers and sisters, on the matter of fresh water, I strongly encourage you to become aware of how much water you drink daily. Try to determine and estimate what you would need for your journey, at least starting out. Though many may not have bottles of water stored, I submit and suggest that we keep several cases of bottled water within our homes, apartments, or even in our car at times. But keep in mind, my brothers and sisters, plastic bottles do not fare well in a heated trunk or heated car. There are particulates. There are particles from the plastic that will break down in the bottles of water. But I suggest that you keep water where you can at a normal temperature. Or should I say at a temperature that is not freezing. So above 40 and at a temperature that's below hot water. In other words, my brothers and sisters, try to have a little extra water around. For as end times become intense, when forced migrations begin, to face us, dead in our face, and we know that we must move, not a might, we must and will move, then the need for water will become apparent. It is said that a person should drink half their body weight in water, but look at the number as ounces. For instance, if a person weighed 150 pounds, half of 150 pounds would be 75. So 75 ounces of water a day. Now I realize that when chaos breaks out, there will be many who will not take heed. Even now, many will probably think this is being too meticulous, or I'm not worried. I trust the Most High. I ask you, could it be the Most High Father making known these words to you to prepare? Could He be speaking through me or any other who is saying, have water close by where you can port it with you, whether it be bottles or bags of water? Try to have some water that you can carry, my brothers and sisters, not big gigantic bottles that you can fit in a backpack. A few, 2 or 3 at least, to get you away, and drink it wisely. I realize many will not take heed to these words, but what is important is that we understand fresh water is a priority for the physically living. Keep in mind that when storing bottles of water, that even if you freeze them or have them in extreme hot places, like I said, particles come off the bottles. I'm quite aware that during chaos, that when chaos break out, that these words may be the farthest from your mind. But who is aware that the Spirit of Yahushua bring things to remembrance, especially the things that He's told you? And can He speak through a donkey? Can He cause the rocks to cry out? Can He speak through us, one towards another? Pray. Keep in mind, fresh water will be one of the most valuable resources coveted as chaos and civil unrest erupts. The number of days a person can go without water are minimum and may vary. 2 to 3 days, maybe longer. Keep in mind, when people become desperate, tempers flare and emotions are heightened. Also be mindful that things that we've taken for granted will prove to be most valuable, especially water. But also be aware, habits that we have acquired will be challenged as we are forced to migrate from our comfort zones. Habits such as rinsing your mouth out, brushing your teeth, taking a shower or a bath, washing clothes, cleaning a vehicle of any type, if applicable. Many uses of fresh water will prove to take a toll on our transformation and migration, for we will no longer have that convenience. We will find ourselves rationing fresh water as we journey towards the direction we are compelled to move. Things as simple as water and food will become top of mind. We will come to miss some of the habits that we have become accustomed to. We will find ourselves in some cases drinking from a stream, or maybe even witnessing water pouring out from a rock and using our hands to capture it for drinking. My brothers and sisters, end times bring expectations, but there are no promises of Evian water or Iron Mountain or Dasani or whatever fashionable water you drink, bottled water. There's no promises that you'll have that. There are no promises of glassware, plastics, paper cups, cans, or any other containers or utensils that you could use to capture water. There are no promises of that. There are no promises of being able to carry a wardrobe as we journey, let alone being able to stop from time to time at our favorite restaurant or coffee shop. There are no promises of conveniences and vanities, my brothers and sisters. Remember, there will be times when we will face decisions as to whether to carry water versus any other type of beverage. There are some beverages that will make you more thirsty than before, and there are some beverages that will impair one's ability to function with a sound mind, if you know what I mean. Selecting the right beverage to carry along a journey will be critical. I submit to you, consider water, my brothers and sisters. We will grow to understand how to prioritize what is needed regarding resources as we begin to face forced migrations. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Pray and watch, for soon and very soon we will face some of the most extraordinary challenges. End times will prove to become intense. There will be betrayal. We will find ourselves trying to manage water rations as water becomes scarce. Emotions and attitudes will flare with discipline being challenged with each passing day. Yes, it will be a struggle, but we who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father will come to discover the living guidance, the presence of His leaders, and we will come to yield to His living orders and commands. There will be even times when we will have to purge loved ones, familiar people from our ranks who fail to comply with the orders that are brought forth by the Most High. Remember, my brothers and sisters, and do not forget, Matthew 10:34-36 says, "Do not think that I've come to bring peace on the earth. I did not come to bring peace but a sword. For I have come to bring division, a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's enemy are those of his own household." I want to bring to mind, my brother, I want to bring to your attention that as we pursue set apartness, there will be times of departure from the wicked, the disobedient. There will be times to purge, and there will be time to come away. I want to also bring your attention to the days of Moses. Remember, drinking water was a thing most coveted during their transition from captivity. Yes, many of us have heard about the story of water coming from the rock, but let me read a portion of it. The 20th chapter of Numbers, and it reads as follows. 20th chapter, verse 2-11. I'm just going to read a portion. Now there was no water for the congregation, and they assembled against Moshe and against Aharon. And the people contended with Moshe and spoke, saying, "If only we had died when our brothers died before Yahuwah. Why have you brought up the assembly of Yahuwah into the wilderness, that we and our livestock should die here? And why have you brought us up out of Mitzrayim," or some may say Egypt, "to bring us to the evil place, not a place of grain or figs or vines or pomegranates? And there is no water to drink." Then Moshe and Aharon went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tent of meetings, and they fell on their face. And the steam of Yahuwah appeared to him. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, "Take the rod and assemble the congregation, you and your brother Aharon, and you shall speak to the rock before their eyes, and it shall give its water. And you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their livestock." And Moshe took the rod from before Yahuwah as he commanded him. And Moshe and Aharon assembled the assembly before the rock, and he said to them, "Hear now, you rebels. Shall we bring water for you out of this rock?" Then Moshe lifted up his hands and struck the rock twice with his rod, and much water came out, and the congregation and their livestock drank. Now, I didn't read the entire chapter, but you will find that by him striking the rock twice, his punishment was that he did not get to see the promise. He did not get to enter into the promised land. He was taken on the mountaintop and shown the promised land, but he did not enter the promised land. Yasharal was ordered to wander in the wilderness to generations past. But read the entire story, my brothers. My point here was that water is a critical resource that will be brought to our attention as we face end times, as we face forced migrations. Pray and watch. For just as in the days of old when water was an issue, we will witness such grumbling among us. The power and the might and the discipline of the Most High Father will provide all the proof necessary for us to identify His leaders and how we are to respond. Humbling times will come, and we will face living orders and commands of varying types, of which most of us will face difficulties adjusting and adapting to change. Regardless of how we define our wants and needs. As it relates to water management, the realities will be dictated by the living orders and commands from the Most High Father. Failure to comply will result in pain and regret, or possibly rejection from the camp of those being gathered. This is not a game. In order to meet the demands of a final exodus, extreme humbling times are coming. With discipline, there will be forced movement, and we will comply, those who are ordered, those who are chosen to fulfill the final exodus. I cannot stress enough, we will witness a rise in chosen leaders. They will be endowed with instructions, living orders, and commands from the Spirit of Yahushua, and they will execute set-apart rulings. Pray and watch. I will pause right here, my brothers and sisters, and ask that you stay tuned for part two of this segment entitled Wants, Needs, Realities. Stay tuned for part two. Shalom, shalom, shalom.